The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Despite the absence of one candidate, the COMELEC considers their latest round of presidential debates a success. Let's hear the poll body's assessment of the event in this report from Greg Gregorio.
Presidential candidates, save for Bongbong Marcos, squared off again in the second COMELEC-sponsored Pilipinas debates with the moniker of the Turning Point. During this edition, candidates were given longer time to answer questions of pressing concerns. Sunday's debate focused on topics involving government accountability, corruption, political dynasties, human rights, and foreign policy. Unlike the first debate, where all candidates answered one general question, candidates had groupings for them to answer separate questions per group. They were given 2 minutes to directly answer questions last night and 30 seconds for rebuttal. The groupings in every segment were determined via board lots to engage the group in a mini-debate. Such debate, however, did not happen.
Siguro nga sa sobrang dami na rin ng mga debate na kanilang attendan, napuntahan. At the same time, medyo naging friendly na sila sa bawat isa. Napansin natin na lalo pa pagkano nag-briefing kami, nag-uusap-usap, nagkukumustahan. Siguro nga mas focus na lamang sila sa issue rather than focus sa personality, yung sa bangayan na wala namang patutunguhan. Mas nakita natin yung ganda ng isang debate na talaga namang dapat ganito ang isang debate. Issue ang basihan.
In the end, the COMELEC is still satisfied with the outcome of Sunday's debate. The debate series is now down to its final 2 editions, with one each for presidential and vice presidential candidates, the format of which will be in a town hall setup. The COMELEC says the public should expect a different type of discussion.
Kadami natin kukonsultahin ng mga eksperto, yung mga may karanasan sa debate. Siyempre magtatatanong din tayo sa mga tao, lalo na sa kalsada, mga tao na sa mga bahay-bahay natin. So magkakaroon tayo ng napakalawak na konsultasyon. Hindi COMELEC lamang, hindi Vote Pilipinas lamang, taong bayan mismo ang magbibigay ng kanilang katanungan.
The next vice presidential debate will happen on April 23, while the next presidential debate will be on April 24. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Despite the COMELEC's praises, presidential candidate Leody de Guzman isn't satisfied with how the second round of presidential debates were conducted yesterday. De Guzman said that even if many national issues were discussed, there were still some things that the poll body could have improved on during the event.
Kasi yung rebuttal, tarang dalawa lang nalimit sa dalawa. Kaya kung gusto mo pang sumagot, hindi ka na makasagot. Dapat sana nagkaroon ng opportunity na yung lahat na ay makapag-rebut doon. Kasi ang paniniwala ko, talaga hindi mawawala yung human right violation. Hindi mawawala ang human right violation hanggat yung sistema ay ganito.
At the same time, the labor leader also emphasized the importance of human rights not just in the country, but also in the ASEAN. This as the conflict in Myanmar continues. Leody also condemned the human rights violations that happened in the Philippines.
Hindi pwede yung ginagawa ng kasalukuyang gobyerno na kill ang kanyang mga patakaran hinggil doon sa mga bumabati ko sa kanya. Hindi pwede ang red tagging. Hindi pwede ang National Task Force LCAC. Dapat buwagin ang mga ganyang institusyon na nagpapalaganap o nagiging pundasyon sa paglaganap ng paglabag sa karapatang pantao. Dapat ding i-repeal ang anti-terror law.
Presidential candidate Senator Manny Pacquiao is hopeful that the people in Visayas and Mindanao will vote for him in May. The senator based this hope on the fact that he's the only Mindanaoan and Visayan-speaking presidential candidate. This even if several Muslim groups have already expressed support for the presidential bid of Bongbong Marcos. In a bid to change these groups' minds, Pacquiao reminded the Filipino Muslims of the deadly Jabida massacre that happened during martial law.
Ma-realize din na ating mga brother Muslims na once upon a time ay marami ding nabuhis ang buhay. Yun ang ano natin at ma-realize nila na may isang kandidato na galing sa Mindanao. Pag hindi taga Mindanao naging presidente, may iiwan na naman kami ng ilang dekada bago mapansin at bago magkaroon ng development.
Let's find out where the national candidates are headed today. Vice presidential candidate Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte will be attending the birthday celebration of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in Pampanga. She will also be meeting with local officials in the area, as her running mate, presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos, is also expected to make an appearance. Meanwhile, Aika Robredo, the eldest daughter of presidential candidate Leni Robredo, is set to campaign in Bulacan on the vice president's behalf. Aika will go house to house in San Ildefonso, in Barangay Catacte, in Bustos, Bulacan. And she will also lead the launching of the Bustos Volunteer Center mural and visit a sewing community in San Rafael. Meanwhile, presidential candidate and Senator Manny Pacquiao will be making rounds in Marikina and Antipolo, and he'll also attend community consultations and forums in the area. And presidential candidate Calyodi de Guzman will be attending an environmental forum hosted by the Philippine Christian University. After this, he's also slated to appear in various online interviews throughout the afternoon. The Petrogas Angels live to fight another day. This as they survived the assault of the Signal HT Spikers in 5 sets in the semifinals of the PVL Open Conference. Gretchen Soltones led the Angels' huge comeback in the 4th set after catching 2 powerful attacks from Rachel Dakis, while Myla Pablo and Remy Palma took over to send the game to a 5th set. And at the finale, Chi Saet's 1-2 play placed the Angels at match point before Pablo sealed the tight win. But the Petrogas Angels can't revel in their victory just yet, as Petrogas and the Signal HT Spikers will return to court later at 6 p.m. for a knockout match. Meanwhile, the Creamline Cool Smashers secured their spot in the finals after beating Choco Mucho Flying Titans in 4 sets. The Cool Smashers were quick to recover from their first set defeat and dominated the last 3 sets with relentless attacks from Tots Carlos, Gemma Galanza, and Alyssa Valdez. Carlos proved to be an unstoppable force after contributing 26 hits to secure the win for Creamline. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 11 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.